What's up, you data friends? It's Yanis here and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take some Excel raw data that looks like this, which is basically all the project details of a travel agency, and then build this Power BI dashboard that is basically a company scorecard with all the details of the travel agency's projects. I am going to have the Excel raw data uploaded in my GitHub page, so feel free to download this Excel file and then build this dashboard with me from scratch. And before we start this video, let me just say that if you're passionate about data analytics and data science, then please consider liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and enable notifications for my future videos. Right, starting with the first thing we want to do is that we want to make our background look nice. So first thing I'm going to do over here, actually, let me move this report over here quickly. First, I want to change my canvas settings and I want to change the type to be custom. And then over here, I want to have 850 by 1500. There we go. So now it's a bit wider and a bit shorter. Next, I want to change the background color to be this light gray. So this one, oh, actually it didn't change because the transparency is to 100%. There we go, light gray. Next, I want to change the theme to be classic because I like working with classic colors. Next, I want to add an image as our background so it looks a bit nicer. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to select, let me see, I think it's 7. Yeah, there we go. And then I'm going to make this bigger like this. I'm going to move it a bit down. Let me select the whole thing. I am going to change the style to be fill like this. And I'm also going to add another rectangle on top of it, like this. Let me expand this. Let me change the style to be no border. This style is going to be the same color as before. Transparency 24%. I think this is, yeah, I think this is nice. Next, I want to add our title, and I'm going to move this over here at the top. I'm going to take all the page like this. I am going to change the effects on, and then I'm going to add the shadow, and then my title is going to be company scorecard. So I'm copying and pasting from the other report. I'm going to make this a bit smaller. I also want to add a few more images. So I'm going to click over here, add 6. There we go. I'm going to move it over here at the top. It's just a random image, so it looks nice. And then add this one too. There we go. So usually on the top left and top right, you add the company's logo and also maybe a date or something. So you don't have much of empty space. You use all the space and the report looks nicer. Right. Now we've created the background and the styling and the coloring. We want to start by loading our data in our Power BI file. To do this, we're going to go over into Home, Get Data, or click over here, the Excel straight away. We want to select our file, which is basically this file over here. I am going to have it in my GitHub page, so feel free to download it. We're going to select Sheet 1. We're going to inspect our data, and we're going to click Load. There we go, the data has loaded and we have our raw data over here. We are going to rename this table to be the travel agency. So I'm going to say travel underscore agency and then click enter. Right, so now we want to start creating our visuals, and we're going to start with these slices on the left hand side, which is the department, project type, and also project audience. To do this, we are going to create a slicer, which is this one over here, slicer. We're going to move it over here, and we are going to insert department into this slicer, which is our first slicer. There you go. You can see all of the departments. Next, we want to change the slicer settings, effects, background, white, shadows. There we go. Now we want to remove the header and also add a title, and the title is going to be department. So copy this, paste. Make it black and then bold and then 12 and then move it in the middle like this. Next, let me check the sizes quickly so we save time. So the size of this one is 349 into 51. So over here is 349 and then 251 like this. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it, and our next slicer is going to be the project type. So I'm going to move it over here, and then I'm going to switch department with project type. So move it here, remove this one, and the size of this one is 117. So over here, I'm going to put 117. Is it 177? Sorry, 177. There we go. And then change the title of this one to be the project type, like this. And then I'm going to copy this, paste it again, and our next slicer is going to be the project audience. So let me move it a bit up, and then project audience, copy, paste, and over here drag it in, project audience. And then the size of this one is basically going to take the rest of the page, so make it a bit bigger, like this, project audience. Yeah. Something else we can do is that we can actually increase the size of the values. So let's try this. Yeah, everything is visible. Let's try this. Sorry, not smaller, larger, 11. And then let's add some padding. So we take all the page like this, and then 11, and then add some padding. Maybe it's 4 options. Yeah, I think this is fine. Right. The next thing we're going to do now is to create this main graph you see over here, which is the number of projects by status. To do this, we're going to go over here, we're going to copy this, so we keep all the formatting. So the reason I'm actually copying always is because it keeps the same formatting, so I don't have to change the background and the shadows and the transparency, for example. So I'm going to make this a bit bigger, like this. I am going to use the status, so project status over here. I need to change this, by the way, to a bar chart like this. So status, and then the number of projects, which is basically the count of project name. So I'm going to add project name, count of project name, like this. Yep, I need to make it look nice now. So I'm going to change the coloring to a light green, like this. I'm going to change the y-axis color to black, and then maybe a bit bigger, like this. I'm going to add the data labels, like this. I'm going to change the color of the data labels to be value, then dark green, bigger, like this, and then bold. There we go. And the last thing I want to do is to change the title, and the title is going to be, I'm going to copy it and paste it quickly. So we save time, so copy, paste, number of projects by status. And the last thing I want to do now is to resize this to make sure I have the correct sizes. So it's 460 and then 439. So 460, and then 439, like this. Right, moving on, we want to create these two main cards in the middle, which basically have the number of projects and the total revenue. To do this, I'm going to copy this, paste it, move it over here, make it a lot smaller like this, and then we need the number of projects. So over here, I'm going to change this to a card, and I'm going to have count of project name, which is correct. What I have to do though is to remove the category label and then make this a lot bigger. So make this 24, no, maybe more, 30. And then I want to come back, sorry, I want to go over here. I want to move this to none. I want to have this to 0. And this is telling us we have 10,000 projects. Let's make sure we count the distinct. There you go, we have less. So we have a few projects that have the same project name. And the last thing I want to do is to change the title of this one. So the title is going to be number of projects, like this. And now I want to make sure I have the correct size. So the size of this one is 110251. So 110 and then 251. And now I want to copy this, paste it, and below it we are going to have the total revenue. So I'm just going to switch the count of project name with the project revenue like this. I am going to make this a $sign value. I'm going to make this 0, and we need to make it smaller because it doesn't fit. So let's make this smaller. Let's see, 27, 28 is fine. I am going to change the color of this one to maybe black. So we keep green for the number of projects. And the last thing I want to do is to change the title, and the title of this one is total revenue. So copy, and then come over here, general title, paste. Right, next we want to have another slicer, which is this project role over here. So I'm just going to copy this slicer, paste it, and then move it over here like this. Take all the space, and we need the project role. So project role is going to go in this slicer. It's going to go away, and then we need to reduce the padding a bit, which is, where is it? I think it's over here, padding, 3, 2, 1, yeah, 1, everything is visible. And then the title is going to be project role, copy, paste, there we go. Next, we want to add a date slicer, as you can see over here, and then a project category slicer over here. To do this, we're going to go back. I'm going to copy this, paste it, move it over here, take all the space, make it smaller, remove the, project role, and add the project commencement date. But actually, this is a number. So we have to edit our data, right click, edit query, and we have to change the format of our date to be date, not a number. So commencement date is this column over here, and I want to change this to be date. Now I want to replace current, and there we go. We have a date, close and apply. There we go. Now is a date. And what I want to do now is to change the settings. I want to do between. There we go. We have between. I want to change the title to be commencement date. So this one over here, copy, paste, commencement date. Let's check. Click over here. No, not there. Over here. Come on. Yeah, commencement date. It works. Let's see. Yeah, it filters, so it works fine. And the last slicer we want to have is the project category. So copy this, paste it, move it over here. Let's make this a bit smaller as much as possible. Move this over here like this, make it smaller. And this is the project category. So remove this, add this over here, project category. Let's change the padding. So we make everything visible. Where is it? 0. Yeah, it's almost everything visible. And then the last thing is to change the title, and the title is going to be project category. So project category like this. Actually, I'm going to make this smaller so it works. This smaller, there you go. Nice. So we have added all of our slicers. Right, next we want to create a bar graph that has the revenue per project role. To do this, I'm going to copy this, paste it, move it over here and take all the space. There you go, like this. I'm going to change this to a vertical one like this, and I'm going to switch the project status with the project role. And also I need to switch the count of project names to the project revenue like this. So now we have the revenue per role. I am going to change the coloring a bit. So I'm going to change the color to be this light purple. I'm also going to change the data labels color. So let's expand this so you see what's going on. Value, and then this is going to be this one over here. And I'm also going to change the title, and the title is going to be the revenue per role. So over here, we're going to have revenue per role. Next, we want to create these 3 donut charts now. That is basically the breakdown of revenue by type, which is this type over here, by audience, which is this audience over here, and by category. And this category is the project category. To do this, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to select one of our visuals, copy, paste. Let me make this a bit bigger. I think it should be a bit bigger. I'm going to move this now down here, up, left. Let me see. Yeah, that's correct. And then let's take this space, maybe all this space. Now I want to switch this to a donut chart like this. And I want to switch our legend, and we're going to start with type, and the type is the project type, and then remove this. There you go. Now I want to change the colors to light colors. So I'm going to use this one, then I'm going to use this one, then I'm going to use this one, then I'm going to use this one, and finally I'm going to use this one like this. Now I want to change the details, and I'm going to have all the details like this with the numbers and the percentages. And I'm going to change the color of these details now to be this gray color over here, like this, so it's not heavy to the eye. Now I want to change the title, and the title is going to be the revenue by type. So I'm going to copy it, come over here, and then paste it, revenue by type. And now I'm going to copy this, paste it, move it over here. So this is number 2. And then let me check number 3 just to make sure it's equal distance. No, so it has to be smaller. So let me get the sizes quickly. So 401 is the width. So in the width, I want to have 401. So 401. And now I'm going to delete, then copy, paste once, and then once more. let's see, yeah, all space, and then select everything, and then do align equal. They have to be a bit smaller, so let's do this. 1, 2, smaller, and then move this over here, and then copy, and then align, distribute. There we go. Nicely equally distributed. This one has to be fixed. Yeah, it's correct. This one is already correct. Nice. So this one now has to be the revenue by audience. So all I'm going to do is change the project type to audience, which is this one over here, audience. Again, I have to change the coloring, light colors. There we go. And also change the title. The title of this one is the revenue by project audience, like this. And then for this one, it's going to be the revenue by category. So I go over here, I switch project type to project category. I copy the name, project category, I change the title. And I also change the slices colors to the light ones, as we said, because it's nicer. There we go. So revenue by project category. Right. So if we test if everything works now, we're going to click here and there just to make sure it's not broken. So this works fine. This one, it works fine. This one, yeah, it works fine. Then this one, yeah, it works. This one, yeah, as you can see, all of our slicers work. All of our visuals update. So we have successfully created a company scorecard for this travel agency. Right, so I hope you've enjoyed this video and you've gained enough value out of this video. If you feel like you did, then I would really appreciate it if you click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and enable notifications for my future videos.